What up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Streetwear Ruined My Life. My name is AlbertMylesMejia. I'm the owner and founder of Legal Hustle Clothing, creative director of By Myles Design and Print Studios, and I'm also the creator of the Facebook group YYC Soldiers Calgary Sneaker Community. Now, today's episode is about why I love graphic t-shirts and how I got into creating my own style of graphic t-shirts. Now, going back to when I was about 12 or 13 years old was probably the time I could really pinpoint when I really got involved in the streetwear kind of street culture, hip-hop culture kind of atmosphere, growing up and playing basketball, getting into dance, and even the shows that I was watching, from Family Matters to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. A lot of stuff that I saw on those shows, and even from my older cousins to basketball players, I was influenced from sneakers and music. So when I really got into dance, I was all about looking fresh. So for me, it was all about looking fresh on the basketball court and looking fresh off the basketball court. And that's kind of how things started snowballing for me. I really got into sneakers, and to go with sneakers, you kind of have to get into fashion. And I was really influenced by, again, hip-hop and music and the TV shows and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air with Will Smith and the stuff that he wore. I love the loud colors and the sneakers and everything that he always put together. So that's kind of where I started digging and seeing from different brands that he would wear from Cross Colors, and then seeing some of the stuff that he would put on to kind of make it look like it's streetwear. That kind of really got me influenced into how I would start putting my own pieces together growing up. So for me, I was all about, again, looking fresh on the court, fresh off the court. It was all about my sneakers, to my t-shirts, to even my fitted hats and everything in between. Everything always matched. There was always one little thing. If it was like a black and red sneaker, I'd have a black and red fitted, or a black t-shirt with a red fitted, and everything just always had to match. And that's kind of where I kind of discovered graphic t-shirts. Now for me, the thing I love about graphic t-shirts and sneakers is, to me, it's almost an art form. With sneakers, you can have a super dope colorway or have something super simple, but you can have a really dope t-shirt to kind of complement that shoe, or vice versa. So for me, growing up, I really thought that streetwear and fashion was, like, as cliche as this might sound, it was like the world is your runway. And for me, I really loved when people complimented my outfits and they talked about the pieces that I would put together and just the way I would wear things. And that is pretty much how I really fell in love with streetwear. It was always about looking fresh, always about having something that nobody else had. Back in the early 2000s, getting into the 2010s, individuality was a real thing. Like, if you wanted a pair of sneakers from a certain country, you couldn't just go on StockX and just order that pair of sneakers. You might go on eBay, you might find it, but a lot of the times it's like traveling. And I was privileged enough to travel to different places and to see different sneaker stores, streetwear brands, and to pick some stuff up. And to this day, some pieces that I had from way back in high school, I still have to this day, just because I love the way the shirt looks. I love the graphic that's on it. To me, it's a piece of art. And that's what really got me influenced into starting my own t-shirt brand. So with Legal Hustle Clothing, we are a graphic-based t-shirt company. So a lot of the stuff that we put out is all graphic-based. A lot of this stuff can be, it could just be fonts, it could be a photo, but everything that we have done as a company always has a backstory to why we created that design. Now, again, looking back at growing up and seeing the different types of streetwear and different types of graphics, again, to me, it was all about being the art form and then you kind of being the walking masterpiece. So I always wanted to think, when it came to designing, whether it be for Legal Hustle Clothing or whether it be for By Myles and me working with a client, that I thought about using the streetwear mentality or streetwear art and using that, because when you put a t-shirt on, even if it's a plain t-shirt, but it's a cut and sew t-shirt, the company that put that shirt together wants you to represent it in a certain way. And for us, we want you to represent, whether it be from Legal Hustle Clothing, the story behind the design, the story behind you and your hustle. If it's through By Myles and it's your own company, I always want to encompass what your story is with your company and how that can help build your community. Now, if you guys have watched my previous videos, community, it's all about community when it comes to running a business or even running your own brand. You can't really run a brand without a community. Some of the questions I've seen through some programs that I'm in and some courses, and some questions that people have asked me is, can you make money selling graphic t-shirts? And the answer is yes. The question that you'd have to ask yourself is how willing, or how much are you willing to go into your business, your brand, with your graphic t-shirts? Now, I'm not necessarily saying put in X amount of dollars to get X amount of dollars back, but how much are you willing to put out with being involved in the community and being a staple for your brand to kind of talk to other people in that community and get them influenced. And to build a strong community, you gotta show face. It's not an internet Instagram thing where it's like, hey, I made a dope t-shirt, buy it. It will work at a point, but that's how a lot of companies will blow up and then fizzle out real quick because the next big thing came. So if you guys are thinking about starting your own clothing company or starting your own graphic t-shirt business, always think about who you're surrounded with and how you can help build a community off of that. It could be anything from sneakers when we created YYC Soldiers, or it could be anything from just like my own clothing brand, Legal Hustle Clothing. I created a community of like-minded people. Or I didn't create the community, but I found a community of like-minded people that were hustlers, whether it be like a student or whether it be working a 9 to 5. I found that community, and they all had the same mindset of wanting better for themselves, and that's kind of what Legal Hustle Clothing was about. With YYC Soldiers, we found a community, or we built a community actually, that we can actually say we built a community that never existed, but we knew that there were a lot of sneakerheads within the city of Calgary. It was just, how are we going to get them all together? And we started off with Facebook, and 3 years after running the Facebook group, we created our first event. So it's all about creating community. So again, going back to my story of why was I influenced by graphic t-shirts, for me, I was influenced by it from sneakers to matching to having my whole fit look fire, but also the community that it brought out of it, whether it be a Stussy or Crooks and Castles or a Diamond. There's always a community, and when you rep those brands and those t-shirts, or even if you rep my own brand, there is a community behind it and a story behind every design. So that was kind of like a one-take short video for you guys about streetwear and how streetwear has ruined my life. Thank you guys again for checking out this video. If you guys haven't already, please make sure to follow me on Instagram and all my other social medias. Instagram at by.myles, Facebook, facebook.com/bymyles, Twitter, twitter.com/bymyles. My website is also up, guys, www.bymylesstudios.com. I'm also on Twitch. I still haven't been on Twitch regularly or even done a live stream, but if you guys do want to see a live stream of me on Twitch doing some art or printing some t-shirts, please leave a comment in the comment section below. But until then, I will see you guys at the next video. Peace.